We're joined by Colonel Kelsey Smith, the Garrison Commander on Redstone Arsenal. Thanks for joining us, Colonel.
Hey, thank you, Dan. I'm glad to be here.
I want to start, first of all, with what the governor likely will say tomorrow during this news conference. I mean, Redstone Arsenal, before this pandemic, of course, would swell to the size of a small city on a daily basis with all the employees coming out there. What do you hope to hear from her tomorrow?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Redstone doesn't necessarily have any specific desires other than certainly concern for the health and well-being of our workforce and the community. So we look forward to her announcement, and we certainly look forward to all of us as a community starting to work our way back to whatever the new normal will be. And I think the guidance that she gives our community tomorrow will help us set the stage and plot how we do that into the future.
Now, thousands, of course, rely on Fox Army Health Center for their medications, prescriptions. This month it was turned into a drive-through only operation. Give us the latest now on Fox Army Health Center.
So Fox Army Health Center today, under the leadership of Colonel Buddy Medor, is back and operational. It provides acute care and treatment, as well as it provides new pharmacy or prescriptions. And then it continues to offer the drive-through pharmacy for those persons or those patrons that already have prescriptions. But we are still providing screening and treatment, and we're still doing acute care and physicals, albeit on a reduced scale.
Mm-hmm. What other changes are being made? I mean, are there more changes on the horizon going forward? Well,
I certainly think we can expect more changes, whether it's a reduction of precautions or it's an increase of precautions. I think we'll weigh the changes on the arsenal based on the environment and the virus, and taking prudent steps to ensure we're protecting the safety and security of our workforce, as well as helping the nation and our military get back to performing all of the missions versus our mission essential missions.
Yeah, let's talk about that military family. What's been the impact on the troops and their families?
Well, you know, at Redstone, we're a considerably smaller installation as far as our military families. We have about 350 families, and I would tell you that I think they're weathering this much like the community at large. We are all being conservative. We're all minimizing our non-essential trips, and we are probably not gathering in the way that we normally would. And we look forward to the summer. I think everyone, though, is making sure that they remain conservative and we all protect each other.
Mm-hmm. That's like the 10,000-foot view of it. Take us down a little closer. What's life like on a daily basis right now at Redstone?
Well, I can tell you that Redstone, you know, you alluded to it earlier. Typically, we're 44,000-ish people on the arsenal day to day, along with our contractors and support personnel. And today, we're probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 20% of our population is actually coming to work and physically there. Meanwhile, about 75 to 80% of our workforce is at home teleworking, contributing to the mission and taking care of their families at the same time. On the arsenal itself, we're quiet. The roads are relatively empty, but you still see people receiving services at the commissary and the PX. We still have traffic patrols and fire stations that are all out and working. And then in each of the critical mission sets, you see people at work each and every day.
And you are practicing social distancing while doing that for those 20% that are there.
Oh, absolutely. So you'll notice coming in the gates of the arsenal, our guards are wearing protective nitrile gloves and cloth face coverings. If you were to go into the PX or the commissary, we've put policies in place where we limit the number of persons allowed into any of those businesses, and we're instructing them to wear cloth face masks anytime they enter. Likewise, you know, we do teleconferences just like this, and rather than having the large meetings, we will teleconference in or video teleconference in any groups greater than 6. We will practice our social distancing and make sure that our seats and desks are 6 feet apart so that we can all work with confidence that each of us is taking care of one another.
Yeah, have you already made some of those changes physically to offices in anticipation of reopening?
Well, I'll tell you, we've certainly, I can speak for the Garrison specifically, is we have gone around and we've conducted occupational health assessments for all of our areas where we'll have to invite the workforce back in initially. And those places where we don't have a 6-foot distance, we're either putting up physical barriers, or we're working on adjusting how we come to work, whether we come to work in different shifts, or we spread out our areas. You'll notice in our waiting rooms, like at the One Stop, we've moved chairs around to accommodate a larger distance between people, much like you'll see at Fox. We've actually closed, at Fox, we closed the Gathering Grounds Eatery in order to create a larger seating area. And likewise in our dining facilities or our food services, we've eliminated the seating areas and it's takeout only. So while we provide the service, we don't encourage gatherings.
Yeah, and you alluded to this. It's not just, it is an Army post, but there are a lot of companies who work out there. How many?
Absolutely.
How many have you got out there working?
Well, you know, we typically like to say that we have about 78 to 80 tenant units, whether that's Department of Justice, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, the FBI, or it's NASA and the Marshall Space Flight Center, or we have multiple DoD entities like the Missile Defense Agency or Space and Missile Defense Command or MISIC. We have a large number of different organizations, and then of course you have Raytheon and Boeing and a lot of the other defense contractors that contribute to us each and every day.
Wow. Have you had any challenges with the whole teleworking angle of this? Any pleasant surprises, perhaps?
That's a great question. Teleworking, specifically for the Garrison, as the Garrison, we are a customer service organization, so not having those customers right there in front of you each day certainly doesn't, you know, it makes it a little harder to know that you're doing your job well. But we have adjusted. We've gone to appointment only. We've gone to virtual teleconferences or Zoom meetings in order to make sure we're still delivering it. And then as a Garrison Commander, I'll tell you, we have, I won't say struggled, but we've embraced the new challenge of how to become more collaborative digitally.
We're all doing that, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's causing us to find new ways to share information. I think it'll be a lot better here in the future as we all get to come back together. We'll get to expand on the collaboration we've done in the past and probably make our processes faster.
Yeah, I'm having my kids explain how this whole Zoom thing works and talk me through. Yeah. Do you think this might last for the long term?
You know, we certainly know that from the Department of Defense's perspective in the Army, our job is to provide safety and security for that workforce, so in turn it can work for the nation. And I'll tell you that we will maintain the precautions necessary to ensure that our workforce is well cared for and safe. You know, I would love to think that this will be over soon, but I think I know we will be more conservative in how we assess it, just to make sure that our workforce is safe, secure, and productive at the same time.
Sure. All right. Thank you, Colonel. We're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, we're going to look at how Redstone is keeping supplies in stock when we return.